What is the crack, lads? I am very excited about this one. I'm just loving getting the rugby heads on, to be honest with you. And as you can see in the title, Devin Toner, just a bloody hero of mine. I would have played second row when I played rugby. And obviously Devin being a big fella like myself, like such a sound, down to earth, funny fella. But I just had an absolute blast. And I hope you have a bloody blast while you're watching it. Quick shout out to the company keeping the lights on here at Guru HQ, aka my mom's house. But I don't live here. I've moved out, I promise. Manscaped, for anyone who's been living under a rock for the last, 4 years? That's how long they've been supporting this channel. Last time I spoke about how they're the best in below the waist grooming. Well, as you probably know, in the last year, they have also moved it above the waist, above the fucking face, above the face, on the face. You've got the Beard Hedger Pro. Best way to describe it, it's really strong, but it's also kind of quite delicate. A bit like myself. Good one. Comes with a guard to go on top of the razor. Got 10 different setting levels, and it's just a fantastic razor. And then the real star of the show, the Manscaped Handyman. It's for you lazy bastards who either just want to clean up the kind of neck and the face if you have a beard, or you don't have a beard, you couldn't be arsed shaving every day, cutting the life out of yourself with the disposable razors. The Handyman strips it right back, and as it says on the tin, a very handy way of doing it. So if you like the sound of any of these products, you know where to go. Manscaped.com. Use my code. It hasn't changed in 4 years. Pints20 to get 20% off plus free delivery. As I always say, if you support Manscaped, use the code, you are directly supporting this channel, and we can keep drinking pints and talking shite for the rest of the time. I don't know if you want that, but for another while anyway.
Yeah.
He's got the uphill there, the bollocks. Right, lads. I am out here. I will let Devin explain where we are. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Devin Toner, Ireland rugby legend, most capped Leinster player of all time. Although Cian Healy is 3 behind you, and it doesn't look like he's retiring anytime soon.
No time soon.
So you could be bothered with that.
Thanks for having me.
Now, where are we, Devin?
We are in Moynalvey.
Yeah.
Moynalvey, County Meath, where I grew up. I grew up about 3 miles down the road here.
Right.
And this is obviously a very famous pub called Fagan's, where we used to come down for the sweets after school and stuff So this is very much a part of me and where I'm from.
Fun facts: if you're a complete OG and you're following since 2019, actually came here for a review back then, and it was very nice. We'll head inside, have a pint, and do what we normally do. Big spot, all right?
Watch your head.
Hey! So she's particularly cozy spot in here.
Yeah. Especially around Christmas time, it's usually absolutely rammed because obviously people are going home.
Slightly higher in here.
Slightly higher, not too bad.
Who's your man?
Yeah, that was from, I think it was from a program. I think it was for one of the Union Games. And obviously one of the questions is, what's my favourite thing about hometown? And obviously I said Fagan's.
What do you have highlighted there and all?
Yeah.
What else you got? Any unusual nicknames? High Tower. Yeah. Fair.
Usual.
All-time sporting hero, Michael Jordan. I could get on board with
Did
that.
I say Michael Jordan?
Who do you think you would have said?
Did I? Tommy Dowd. Meath footballer.
No, but you said all-time sporting hero. There's about 40 questions to be fair.
Right. Also.
Michael Jordan.
And then they have the jersey as well from 2014 Tour of Argentina.
And is that all the lads signed?
It is, but you can see it's kind of
faded
a bit.
Yeah. And you were saying you got married and brought all the boys here.
We got married 8 years ago now, just down in Moynalvey Church there, to my wife Mary, and after weddings people come down here and obviously have a pint before they head off. So all the lads back here. So I think all the locals had a great time staring at them.
Yeah. So, firstly, Devin, ever work in a bar?
No.
Okay.
No, never worked in a bar. So don't really know how this is going to go.
You're going straight in pretty confidently the way you grabbed that glass. So.
Am I? I wouldn't say I'm very confident, to be honest.
Oh, you've it all the way down. A nice hiss. This is going to be the first point of the day, I presume. He has dipped the nozzle, which can be a controversial move, although
really?
not that controversial because most
I never knew
most barmen wouldn't give a shy. But
I didn't know you were meant to dip the nozzle.
I usually keep the nozzle out.
Do you do one as well?
I'll do one as well.
Yeah.
That's alright. Right, let's go. Bish bosh. Tell me, Dev, you would have been a professional rugby player since what age?
Proper first contract, 19, because I left school 18 and then I did 1 year sub-academy, 1 year academy.
Yeah.
And then I got my first contract after that. So it was around 19 I got my...
And like, so that's coming up on 20 years ago?
Yeah. Well, I'm
still a young fella.
I'm 38.
Yeah, so
As of
in terms
3
of...
days ago.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
You don't look a day over 50. I'm joking. But in terms of then, I always love talking to people like athletes about the kind of difference in professionalism. I know rugby, compared to say GAA, has always seemed to be a little bit more lenient. Like, no bother, if you're pictured with a point after a match, it's all right.
Yeah.
Do you think there's much of a difference from, say, when you started out, say that first contract 19, to say a lad who signs a contract at 19 now?
I think rugby is very different because, like, I think it's very much as if you turn up and you're ready to train, you're ready to do everything. Like, you can actually do what you want.
There's no one kind of looking.
There's no one looking over your shoulder and what you're drinking and what you're, well, a little bit of what you're eating. Like, but because I was a front five forward, I kind of liked having it weight and like you're able to be heavy. Like, so I kind of ate what I wanted and kind of drank what I wanted as well. But as long as you're able, so like it's. But I said my first contract, it was when Michael Cheika came in, and that's when he started cracking the whip a lot. So like I didn't really experience the Leinster beforehand, where you hear of all the lads of us being unprofessional and stuff. So I came in, and like the whip was being cracked basically straight away. So it was kind of very professional by the time I went in.
Because I would have, not to make it about me, but I would have gotten to like. Not what's below, so even under 19s,
like trials, kind of,
and it was very much like they were like just eat everything, because I was probably like 6'7", probably like 95 kilos, so like we need to get you up to about 120, and they did actually used to always be like, look at Devin, look what he's doing, because this would have been 12 years ago, so you would have been flying it then. They're like, just study Devin Toner and all. Obviously didn't study enough because I got caught, but anyway. I'd say I'll leave it to you. I won't force you now.
Which one was mine?
You were on the left, the slightly more settled one, but if you think it's ready,
sure, why not?
It is yours now. Do you think I'm lying to you? So you're going for the dome on top, but you don't want to over pour, you know what I mean? Conservative effort, but looks pretty good. Yeah. And it has to be said, sparkling clean glasses here in Fagan's in Moynalvey.
Absolutely.
Because it's kind of awkward sometimes. You're pouring away and they hand you the glass. And you can't see until it's poured. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And you wouldn't even notice that much when it's that colour. You're just like, oh, yeah, it looks great. Yeah. Anyway, did you go forward or back?
I went forward.
Forward. So I'll do the same. You actually have a pretty decent dome on it there, I'd say.
Oh. Beautiful.
I'd say mine's possibly might break the dam.
Yours is just about to go.
Yeah.
So walk very carefully with that.
That's it, yeah. We might even walk instead of, we make it as short a journey as possible. Devin Toner.
Cheers.
Legend of a man. Sláinte.
Thanks
Cheers.
for having me.
Lovely. Well, I'll be damned. I'm genuinely not just saying it. The fact that that's the first
of the day
is incredible.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what I would have said about it fucking 5 years ago, but
you have to go back and go to your archive.
Yeah. Sweet Jesus.
Link here.
Honest to God. Yeah. I'm actually just taking a moment to appreciate how good that is. Holy smokes. Imagine what it's like when it's flowing.
I know. It's not often I get to have a pint in the middle of the day anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That is a sensational point, yeah. So Devin, we're 2 years retired?
2 years retired now, yes. It was who slagged me after the game? But Sexo was to slag me after the game because my first game back in, I played against. I was on the bench against Scotland, and I think it was in the Aviva. And then I came off the bench, as a line-out was happening. So I was calling, I came in and like there's only one place I'm throwing a ball, so I threw the ball to me, and I caught it. And when I caught it, you could hear the whole crowd shouting, screaming, like so. That was kind of a really good kind of moment. Like, And then Sexo was like, you're obviously going to fucking call it yourself, kind of thing. Like, so I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, I used to literally always do that myself, playing with Ashford. It's just like
I built a career about calling the ball myself.
And so what, 2 years officially retired, the same old question everyone asks, but I suppose instead of just saying, how are you enjoying retirement, would you give me maybe a thing you missed the most and a thing you missed the least?
Yeah, well, the thing you miss the most is the environment that you go into every day. So, like, we used to go in and train with 30 of my best mates every day, whereas now you'd be lucky to see a couple of them a handful of times during the year.
Crazy,
you know what I mean? So it's the environment, and it's a bit of a cliche, but it's the camaraderie of the lads.
Yeah.
Do you know? So, like, I'm in a normal Monday to Friday 9 to 5 family man. So, like, I rarely get to see the lads, if any, anymore. Do you know? So, like, it's been able to see lads on a regular basis and being part of being part of something that's working hard to a goal, I suppose. Now, it's obviously a little bit. I'm doing the kind of same work.
Yeah,
working towards a goal now, like, but it's completely different.
Just make sure you get that in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, was that the best part or the worst part? That's what you missed the most.
That's what I missed the most.
What you missed the least?
What I missed the least? But I love actually having my weekends back and being able to plan stuff and being able to, like, I booked my summer holidays a year ago, which is, like, unheard of in the rugby world, because when you get to the end of a year in rugby, like, you don't know, first of all, if you're going to get picked for the summer tour. You don't know, you might get injured, you might not get selected, so you never know if you're going on a summer tour, like, until 2 weeks beforehand, so you can't book a holiday.
All right. Literally, we'll get on to the whole Ireland South Africa stuff in a minute. I think this is going to come out in the middle of it, like, next week. But we'll get your prediction.
Right.
But you said now you've moved on to a different career. Give us a quick kind of rundown of what you're doing.
I'm working for Fairstone Asset Management, or Ask Paul. Have you seen Ask Paul on Instagram?
I'm not just saying this. I am in the middle of reading the Ask Paul book. So
brilliant. Yeah. No. Great. So I'm head of partnerships in there. So in my final year of rugby, I was actually seeing a career coach, because I didn't know which way I was going, and she said the first thing I'll do is sort your finances out. So I actually just followed Paul online, and I kind of knew of him, and I booked in for a financial plan, basically. And then I spent the year doing my financial plan, looking to the future and all this, and then at the end we built up a relationship, and then he said, do you have any idea what you're doing after rugby? And I was like, no. And he was like, well,
so you have no idea?
No idea. And then there might be something here if you want to go down this avenue. So I spent the last year of my career doing the QFAs, which is the Qualified Financial Advisors exams.
Brilliant, yeah.
And then, so I'm working as head of partnerships. So we do a lot of work with corporates and businesses doing financial wellness. So I'm trying to get my foot in the door of business and corporates. And Paul does a lot of money master classes, they're called.
Yeah. And so I'm fascinated then, because you kind of have you played professional sport, and now you're kind of in the finance side of it. And I'm very interested in, like, say if you played football, soccer, you know, you had a 10-12 year career making 250 grand a week.
Yeah.
If you were smart with it, smart, if you could retire with it.
Absolutely.
If you were smart.
Yeah, if you were smart.
Because it's still easy to blow money.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, like
that's not rugby.
Would you be able to guess, like, the average, like, what would be a middle to decent rugby salary? Do you know?
Middle to do, like,
someone who was kind of, you know, on the cusp of the Ireland team.
It's how long is a piece of string, it's how experienced you are, it's how long you're in the thing, and it's your competition when it comes to contract negotiations. But you're looking at maybe...
Are you talking 50? Are you talking 300?
Well, my first contract when I was fully contracted was 40 grand.
At 19?
At 20.
At 20.
No, sorry, I had a development contract, and then the next year I signed up for a 2-year contract, and I think that was 40 grand.
Yeah.
40 grand and the 50 grand.
Right.
Or something like that. And then the next time it was, once you get into the team, you start playing a lot more. I think the next one was maybe 100, 110 or something like that. So it's good while you have it. But like, it's and then once you get into Ireland, it starts going up, and you have match fees and stuff as well. But it's
But the question then is, like, you're not making, like, though the soccer lads are making that in 3 days, whatever.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But how is there much talk amongst, like, is there financial people brought in to be like, right, lads, these are on good money, but, like, it's not going to do your whole life, or are you just totally kind of left to it?
No, that's the one thing that kind of struck me, that I had never talked to anyone.
Okay.
So I never really kind of, you don't really want to talk about that when you're 22, 23. Do you know what I mean? You just kind of want to live your life, and you're not looking to the future a bit.
Yeah.
But whereas I do think they're like young lads need to be educated, because I was lucky that I actually did start a pension a bit earlier, so I had 6 good years of contributing to a pension.
Because even if you're making 200k, like 100%. Unbelievable money.
Yeah.
But it's
only for a certain amount of period.
Yeah, if you were,
so like you're retiring at 35,
exactly,
36.
that's what I mean. If you were like 30 years old making 200k, you'd be like, well, by the time I'm 60, I could be making, I don't know, a couple of million or something.
Yeah.
Whereas rugby's
when
like the
you get to
opposite.
36, you go back down to 0.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
and it's I suppose so like do even when lads are getting to the end of their career, like do some lads just kind of go, like, I suppose you. Not to use the word lucky, but it seems like it worked out for you. Do you know what I mean?
No, I was very lucky.
Do you hear of lads who have maybe they're on that kind of 200 or 300 and they think like, oh sure, this will do me forever, and then they're kind of retired 5 years and they're like,
I don't think anyone thinks like that, to be honest, because I think they know. Well, obviously, all the lads who are living in Dublin as well have got Dublin rents to pay, and like when you're retired, you're pretty much going to have crash fees. You're going to have all sorts of fees you will pay. So like everyone has bills to pay. Yeah. But I think it is kind of comes to the forefront of people's mind when you're coming up to the end. You need to put a plan in place, basically. Yeah.
Like. That is just interesting, and I do know, like, when I was whatever around that, the Leinster setup, they were very much like pushing the lads who made the academy. They were pushing them to go to college and stuff. So it's not like they're just like, play for us and then you're off. So they kind of. But
no, they still do know. Even RPI, the Rugby Players Ireland, they're the ones that encouraged me to go back to college, because I did 1 year arts, dropped out of it, went back to do sports management, did 1 year 2, dropped out of second year. So then I did 3 years of doing nothing, and then RPI were like, what are you playing at? You got to go back and do something. So I actually went back and did my 3rd year over 3 years. So it took me like 8 or 9 years to get a degree. So I have a degree in sports management, but I was never really going to use
Van
it.
Wilder over here.
But then if I go in one day and like lecture, be like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? I've never seen you before."
Yeah. You saw me 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Then let's talk rugby, Dev.
Go on.
Ireland, South Africa. So when this goes out, I think it'll be something like Wednesday, Thursday next week. So they'll have played one test, and one to go.
Yeah.
Any predictions?
You'd like to think that Ireland will be able to do a job, but it's obviously South Africa on South African soil. Like, I was lucky to be part of the team that first won down there in 2016. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty special tour for me as well, because my dad had just passed the month before. Oh wow! And then we went into 2016, and then we won the first test, and then we lost the next 2 tests. But that was the first.
So it was 3 tests.
3 tests. Yeah. So we won the first one. And that's the one when CJ got red carded.
Oh yeah.
And then we ended up winning it.
And so your dad had just passed, and what, like, because you said you only really get the call like 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So was it?
Well, so like it was.
You were just dealing with all that, and then you get the call.
Yeah. So my dad passed. So we were due to play. Remember when Connacht won the league? Yeah. So the Connacht game was on the first Saturday. Dad passed on the Thursday night. So I had to ring Leo on the Friday saying I can't go. So then. Then the final happened, and then it was kind of the week after, I think, I got the phone call saying, do you still want to go? Like, obviously, it's up to you. Like, I was like, my family were like, you got to go. You got to do it, like, to me. So, like, I had to get on the plane and do it, like, but I actually ended up getting man of the match in that first game that we won.
Jeez, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
All the South African comments on the Jim Hamilton show and stuff, which is a great show. But
you know, I kind of see some of them, like, I don't pay a lot of attention, but I see some of them, like, some of the feeds that I'm watching and stuff, like, and like, I think it was blown way out of proportion. Like, I think to think that the lads were not thinking New Zealand, like, it literally just within a throw-off comment saying, more out of respect for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So for context, it was basically Ibn Etzebeth was on the Big Jim show or whatever, the Rugby Pod, and he basically said that when Ireland beat them in the group stage, all the Ireland, he was like 12 of the 15 players came up to me, shook my hand and said, "See you in the final," and he took that as, oh, they were overlooking New Zealand, they're not taking it seriously, when it's just the biggest load of bollocks.
Whereas in reality, it was literally, they have a lot of respect for South Africa, and they were like, yeah, here, you're of a class team, we'll see you again.
That's
basically.
it. And it's just, it's kind of like just nearly make you feel better. Sure, you'll be in the final anyway.
Yeah.
So
I think it was blown completely out of context. Like.
And then Razzie is just an absolute puppet master. I nearly think he's like picking who and when goes on these shows and stuff just to say certain things. It's unbelievable. Like
I know, yeah. But anyway, back to your original question. South Africa are hard to beat because we lost the next 2 games there. So.
Is there a reason why it's only 2 games this time?
No, I don't know. Actually, no, I don't know. Well, because South Africa played Wales already, haven't they? I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'll say 1-1. Win 1, lose 1. Win the first one, lose the second one.
You shouldn't have said that because then you could have still been right.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Couple of quick fire. Best lock you've ever hunkered down with?
Best lock I ever hunkered down with. It's hard to go past Paul O'Connell.
Yeah.
So I got 3 caps in 2010, but then didn't get capped for like 3 years. So I came back in when Joe came in 2013, and it was me and Paulie. And
was it Kidney?
Who?
Kidney?
Yeah, Decky. So Decky gave me my first cap in 2010. Yeah. And then Joe came in 2013, and then he kind of.
That's a long time. That's quite unusual, I'd say, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But like, I had Paulie ahead of me, Donncha O'Callaghan, Donncha Ryan. Yeah. There's loads of people that kind of.
In 2010, you were only
24.
Okay, yeah. And that is young for rugby, especially like the front 5 positions. It's like you kind of need to be. It's nearly more to your late 20s. You kind of really have a grasp of of the size and stuff. So Paul O'Connell, and then best you've played against, or nearly like hardest the one you'd come up against and go, oh bollocks.
Well, I played against loads of really class ones, to be honest. Victor Matfield, class. I growing up, I actually loved playing. I loved watching Ali Williams play for New Zealand. Got to play against him in Toulon as well. Another one was Bakis Botha, and played against him in Toulon. He's a hard bastard. And I actually was able to. I swapped jerseys with him, so I've got his jersey at home, which is class.
Who would you say is better, Botha or Etzebeth?
That's a different. I've actually swapped jerseys with Etzebeth as well. He's a really nice guy. I'd go with Etzebeth.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're saying we'll win 1, we'll lose 1.
Yeah.
And then there's no third game, so it's just
exactly.
Everyone's happy.
Share the spoils.
Share the spoils. Yeah. Dev. Thank you so much. Short and sweet.
Thanks very much for having me.
Thanks very much.
Absolutely.